Apex Online Racing is sponsored by Elgato, who created this lovely Stream Deck. For more information about the Stream Deck, the link is in the description below.
Good morning, ladies and gents. Forgive the little F3 show there, not quite sure what's going on there, but welcome to a new league on iRacing. It's GT4's new car, introduced just a few weeks ago actually. It's been proven quite popular, although maybe not so much on Sonoma, as we can see here. Pretty barren track in terms of what people actually own in this game. But things should pick up sooner rather than later in terms of progressing to round 3 and whatnot, but we still have quite a few people who are knocking around. We currently have 6 minutes left in qualifying. If anything is wrong with the game as such, please do let me know, because that would help me out a great deal. But anyway, let's start with our competitors. What have we got? We're starting off with Kamil Rogalski. Again, nobody set a lap time just at the minute, but we'll get to that once we get some people. The lap time we've got straight away 134.6 from Stephen Brumfield. We'll get that there in a minute. Anyway, first lap times are coming in. Currently in P1 with a 138.2 is Michael Mariani for Raptor Racing Team. And we'll cycle through our current order. Next we have Patrick Sokolowski for Carbon Esports, 0.3 seconds off the pace currently. Followed by in P4 Marvin Sluman for Hyperion Racing. He was our pole sitter last time, so I'd imagine that time would be improving sooner rather than later. I would hope so anyway. We're not going for lone qualifying here, as you can see. Everyone is on the track at the same time. Make some interesting situations if you can catch up a slower driver and have your lap ruined, which I'm sure people will be keen to not have happen to them at any stage. Cruising in P5 is Andreas Lutus for Team Dingo, one of our many Estonian drivers here today. And P6 we have Kamil Rogalski for, again, Carbon Esports, teammate of Sokolowski. Doing a little bit worse than his teammate at the minute, has to be said. Currently second off his teammate. Being overtaken by, I believe that's Marvin Sluman, who's too busy killing as many cons as possible, trying to find his best way around the lap. And in P7 we have Sarah Dove, no skin currently for Team AOR. Two of these cars in here from Team AOR, and our 8th driver is Raimo Cooley, another Estonian driver from Team Cruising Missiles, 2.5, never mind, 1 second off the pace, just gone up from 2.5, big improvement from him. And I will say who we've actually spoken about so far. Let's go down the list. We have Sasso Prosen, currently on his first lap, unless this is his second and it's been invalidated since. I'll see how far the table he can get. Again, I have no idea what the relative skill level of 95% of these drivers are. We're just going for it, and we'll see where the field lies as we get there. Again, only 15 cars today, probably due to the fact that Sonoma is not a very, well, not many people on the road side of things own it. It's mostly an oval track, which may surprise some of you, but NASCAR does run here, or attempts to anyway. Take that for what you will. We have Ronno Luke, who is still in the pit lane, so my camera won't focus on him. He has got a pit lane start from the last race, causing a rather horrible accident, so I'm told. Again, we've got no footage of that, so he's probably going to be happy about that much at least. Mayan Kodeman is next up. He Again, currently in the pit lane potentially, I think. I haven't finished it. Finishes qualifying, sitting in P7. Mikel Pari is our next driver. See if we can reset the TV angle here. There we go, that's much better. Let's see if we can get a look at my economy now. I've got some TV angles to work with. There we go. Still out on track, so not finished their laps yet. Next up in the line, not yet set a time, is Dominic Linden from Germany, currently being caught in the act of a little bit of a spin at the top end of the circuit. That's not going to do his lap any good, nor his tyres, although that could be up for debate. But we get some heat in there. Next is our second Team AOR driver, Evan Imre. Again, no skin on these ones yet, just a nice little domino black. And as I was mentioning earlier, Stephen Brumfield, currently our last of all the drivers who have set a time yet, currently 5 seconds off the pace for Team Raptor Racing. Marked down as German, which I'm going to raise some doubts at, but we're going to go with this for the time being. And last but not least, Dominic Siuha. I apologise if that's wrong. If anyone likes to correct me with any of these names, please go ahead and feel free, because I have the cover image still shown. Right, okay, it's been a while since I've done this. Here we go. That should be much better. Right. Good job I opened chat, otherwise I would have seen that. Anyway, moving swiftly on, let's see that never happened. We'll quickly go through everyone once again. Dominic Siuha, Domen Siuha, my apologies. And Stephen Brumfield from Raptor Racing, we're Team AOR in the pit lane and finishes lap. Evan Imre, Dominic Linden from another Team Raptor Racing. Mikel Pari from Team Cruising and Missiles, currently finishing up next lap. We'll see how far this can get him on the board. 2.8 seconds off the pace currently. With a car hot on his heels, it must be said. He does not improve. Sarah Dove, again, another second Team AOR driver, currently 1.8 seconds off the pace of currently Marvin Sweetman's in pole. P4, Mayan Kodeman, Diesel Race Team, a teammate of Domen Siuha, still in the pit lane. Pole sitter currently Marvin Sluman. He's made it 2 for 2 in terms of pole positions so far, it seems. If he can keep this one for the next 8 seconds plus change for Hyperion Racing, 137.3, that's pretty damn quick, it must be said. Rando Luke starting from the pit lane. We're going to not be able to see this car because it hasn't moved yet. Raimo Cooley, currently having a bit of an off-track excursion into the wall. That's going to be a hard hit. And that's him resets to the pit lane. Patrick Sokolowski for Carbon Esports, going to finish a lap. Will he be able to improve from P7? He does not manage to improve. Not far away from Prosen at all, it must be said. Speaking of Prosen, currently coming down the hill to finish his lap. It's a very short lap, but again these cars are quite slow, but again extremely fun and definitely challenges you. Oh, Sokolowski has beaten Sluman to the pole position. That's made me eat my words. That's going to be everything for qualifying. If you haven't finished already, that's going to be it for you. Sokolowski looks pretty finished to me with the Carbon Esports car. Is there anything else wrong with this stream? It's been a while, and my first, so things like changing the scene over, apparently too much for me. Currently still out on track, we have Sarah Dove. No, Sarah Dove's in the pit. Stephen Brumfield is still on track. Doesn't look to be going for a particularly fast lap, so he's going to be pulling over and resetting to the pits, and that's going to be everyone, I believe. And while we're waiting, let's have a look at our grid for P1. Sokolowski setting the pace with a final time 1:37.317, followed by Marvin Sluman, 0.053 seconds behind, very close between those two, followed by Michael Mariani, Kevin Rogalowski, Mayan Kodeman, Dominic Siuha, I said Rano. I saw him stoning the flag and saw an R and jumped to conclusions. Okay, his name is Raimo Cooley, not Rano Cooley. Followed by Prosen, Saradov, Lutus, Pari. The Estonians are in force today. Stephen Brunfield, and if we scroll the grid down, we can see Rano Luke, Linden and Evan Imre have not set a time. Rano Luke, as I mentioned earlier, received a penalty from last race. I am not sure about the reason for our other two contestants not setting a lap time. Anyway, let's jump to the grid. Let's focus on our leader. We'll wait for the drivers to grid in the first place. Until now, we're going to be sat with this. We have some drivers gridding up. Let's click on one of them so we can actually get to look at the grid. There we go. Right, 25 laps or so I'm told. I believe this is just a 40-minute timed race. I'm not sure whether it's timed as in actually uses 40 minutes time, whether we're just decreeing that 25 minutes is roughly going to be 25 laps, sorry, it's going to be 40 minutes. Anyway, we'll soon find out once we get this underway. It does, in fact, appear to be a lap count, so we'll... These guys... There is a mandatory pit stop in the sense... It's not mandated by the rules, but your fuel tank is too small to be able to make it to the end. So if you do manage to make it to the end, then that's going to be a feat in its own, and quite possibly not worth taking a pit stop. No rules in this pit stop that I'm aware of, other than just filling up your fuel to get to the end, which isn't so much a rule, more of it just a necessity as part of the race. We're all good, okay. If there's any audio levels and stuff that need tweaking, please do feel free to let me know, because my first time streaming iRacing, and, well, iRacing in this format at least anyway. I've streamed it in VR and such on other platforms, but anyway, that's nothing to do with this. Audio levels are unrehearsed, and if anything's a bit too loud, too quiet over the other, let me know and I can fix it up, because, believe it or not, I can't hear the game. I'm just relying on the fact that you can because of the workaround, we'll call it. Workaround is a word that could be used to describe that, but anyway. As you see, Rano Luke side in the pit lane. Other two drivers will be at the back. And Marvin Stewart appears to have fallen asleep, but he'll catch up with the pace car, no problem. You're going to be seeing these guys frantically trying to warm up their tyres, trying to get a sense of heat into these, because this track is quite slippery as it is, and you don't want cold tyres to add to that misery. If you do, we could see a fair few drivers skating over the top of the crest into turn 2 and continuing onwards into a barrier, probably ruining their race. They've got the new damage model on these cars as well, so don't be surprised if you see bits of wheel and wing flying around the place, because it won't be the first time, it won't be the last time. As we've already got someone having issues on the formation lap, and that's going to be very sad times for them. They're going to have to catch back up as soon as possible. Hopefully they can collect anyone on their travels. We don't want other people's races being ruined, but hopefully it's just a spin and they get back to their position as soon as possible. We've got a full pace up here. Forza Raptor. We have a few Raptor cars in it, if I can remember who the Raptor cars are. There is one of them, Stephen Brunfield, at the tail end of the grid, along with Darwin Stewart and Evan Imre. His teammate, I believe, being Dominic Linden. Again, he must have been our driver who had a bit of a spin earlier and is struggling on some tyres. We also have... anyway. Let's get back to the front end of the field and see what's going on. Currently waiting for all drivers to come around the final pace lap in the last sector now, so it shouldn't be too long. Pace car will be away after the final hairpin, in which case it is up to our pole sitter to decide when we go. Pole sitter being not Rogolovsky, but what's his teammate, Sokolovsky. Again, if I'm pronouncing these names wrong, please do feel free to correct me. As it appears, Sokolovsky's already put the hammer to the floor, and Marvin Sluman's been caught napping a little bit there. He's been overtaken by the Sasso Prosen, I believe that is. No, that's not Sasso Prosen. Time machine's having a bit of a fit on that one. But we'll cope with it for now. Marvin Sluman's down to third, and Sasso Prosen is currently sitting in P8 currently. Michael Mariani was the driver who got through into P2 after catching Marvin Sluman having a bit of a snooze at the start of the grid. It's the Cup circuit running today. Shorter than the not long circuit that you may be used to for other races in iRacing, but if you're someone who came from Project Cars 2 like I am, this layout will be all but familiar to you. It's quite an enjoyable track, it must be said. I'm quite happy that it's come to iRacing Road for the first time in a while. And it looks like Mariani is going to be trying to make a move on Sokolovsky into top of the circuit. Not able to make anything happen just yet. Guys just getting the track, trying to get the tyres up to temperature. As a minute as well. A couple of guys so side by side further behind as well, so we can get a look at that. Rogolovsky's managed to find his way through, it seems, from that little particular battle. As even further back we've got a bit more going on. Marvin Sluman still in hot pursuit of those two positions ahead of him. Let's see what he can do into the final hairpin of the circuit. People already killing cones. The fastest way into this corner, take as far wide as you can. And let's see if we can get something going. Anyway, let's put up our race standings for now, as they should come through fairly soon. Turns out, if you sort the timing screen by position, it's much easier to find out who's where on the grid. Who could possibly see that one coming? Anyway, let's quickly get the little chat back up. And we'll see who's going at what. We currently have Stephen Brumfield trying to get past Evan Imre right at the back of the grid. Could make both of these guys starting at back with no qualifying time as well, so work to be had from both of them, as they both try and fight each other a bit instead of trying to get past drivers ahead of them who could potentially be a bit slower. Sasso Prosen's be trying to get past Andreas Lutas as well, coming into the top end of the circuit. That's probably one of the biggest braking zones we have, apart from the hairpin at the back, so keep an eye out for that being one of the main places people are going to be overtaking this race today. It is going to be a lapped race. 25 laps or 37 minutes, as my countdown timer says. These guys will need to pit for fuel. Not in the rules, but heavily advised given the restrictions of the tanks we've got in place, something like 30% if I remember rightly. The battle for the lead appears, we do have something going on over here for P5. Karol Rogolovsky is side by side with Raimo Cooley for P4, I believe, and then we have Doman Suher in a hot pursuit. He came from quite far back down the grid. Let's have a look at Cooley and Rogolovsky, see what's going on in this one. Cooley for Team Cruisers and Missiles. Keep the position over there, that's not really a place to really overtake, but Rogolovsky is going to be trying to stay as far to the back of that car as he can and possibly try and make a move into one of these heavy braking zones at the end of the circuit. One of them's right here, it's not going to be close enough there, but if he can maintain a good sector here, but it's going to be pressure from Suher, something could be made into the top of the circuit. Saradov as well appears to have started from the pit lane too. I'm not quite sure why that happened, but they're two very quick drivers as well. Rano Luke and Saradov are going to be cutting their way through the back of this field at some stage in the race. We'll have to wait and see when exactly that happens, but at the minute we've still got a bit of battle going here. It appears Rogolovsky dropped off the back of Doman Suher here. Not dropped off the back of Cooley, sorry. As further up the pack, Michael Mariani is still trying to hunt down Sokolovsky for that first position. Again, more killing cones. That's going to be a recurring theme, I think, throughout this race. Oh, 9 seconds behind as I got last time around. Currently sitting about 0.7 as much got a better exit out of the. You can see the cars sliding around all over the place. They're trying to get around these first 2 turns. They weren't kidding about this track being quite slippery, and again, tyres not going to quite up to temperature even 4 laps in. These things don't heat up very well, it must be said. You've got to really put a lot of work into these to get the temperature and to switch them on. Although, further down the grid, Sasso Prosen is still all over the back of Andreas Lutis for P6 in the table. As you can see, ahead of P5 is still looking pretty strong as well. Once these guys are draining the fuel from their tank, they can just pit whenever they like, by the way. This isn't... Obviously, a lot of drivers will want to pit as soon as possible. Or as late as possible, sorry, so they spend more time on an empty tank, but if you get some damage or you feel like you're stuck behind a slower driver, you can take that early pit stop if you want to try and get some clean air and run some laps on your own and then see what you're really made of. Not much aero wash, I don't think, in these cars, not that I've experienced from my small time driving them. Not much air to produce aero wash, and it's got enough horsepower that it doesn't really have much slipstream either. So these cars are all about, oh, we've got a bit of a slide going on from Prosen, and he's put that face first into the wall. That's going to be wings flying everywhere, and that's going to, the wheel has come off and reattached itself. That's going to be an early trip to the pit lane, as I was mentioning earlier, for Sasso Prosen. Let's jump further up the grid to Lucis, who's still trying to chase down P5 because of Wololovsky. Taking the chance to. So's ahead of him crashing. He's gonna be all over the back off. That's Colin Wololovsky. Let's see if we can get a different camera angle here. Just for the time being, let's see on board with Andreas Lutis. There we go, it doesn't rotate around as much. You can see how much these cars slide around, like how much work you have to put into the wheel to keep this thing in a straight line. Right, it's going to be very far away. Nowhere near close enough to try and make something into the back, although it looks like the car has gone a little bit wide. It could get a little bit tiny here, but I don't think we're getting too much from this. Although, keep the same camera angle and go ahead to Michael Mariani. He is still pressuring Sokolovsky for that P1. He's definitely making the most of catching Robin Sluma snoozing at the start, and he has ran away with this one in terms of. Yeah, it's well, we have a lot more sign-ups than this. I suspect that the lower turnout today is due to the fact that nobody on the roadside really owns Sonoma, due to this being the first time I've seen it on the calendar in a very long time. Definitely, I don't think this is the first time I've seen this on the calendar since I joined iRacing, to be honest. I haven't really looked in the smaller series to see if it's been driven, but not the Pocket series, it's driven since now, so not many people own the track, so I expect a much bigger turnout for next round, especially now. People know there's a bit of a stream coming. You can see that very nice Carbon Esports livery. Or the back end of it anyway. He's going to want to be looking at front of that super out of the race, I imagine. What else have we got going on? We have Sarah Duff trying to get past Stephen Brumfield at the tail end of the field. I said Sarah Duff will be one of the drivers making a big move forward in this grid. Let's jump back to 52 weeks. Okay, Sarah Duff from knowledge that I have from previously should be one of the drivers that should be towards the front end of the grid, that's for sure. So I'll have to see how quickly she can get around Stephen Brumfield. Of course, he's under no obligation to move out of the way, he can stay there as long as he likes. If I'm right, Stephen Brumfield was our last qualifier, so although Sarah Duff didn't set time, so what's that got to say? I believe a pit lane start as well, judging by my pit lane counter. It appears we've already lost Sarso Prostin as well. He is retired from the race after his little bit of an excursion into the wall earlier that we saw. Sarah was going to try and go to the outside of Team Brumfield. Brumfield's not having any of it, and as such Brumfield's going to try and latch onto the back of Evan Imray as well in a Team AOR sandwich at the minute. Those black cars are Team AOR. No liveries been prepared as such yet, and Imray's under attack from Brumfield. Dub's going to use this opportunity to try and get past the both of them. He's got the inside of turn 1, but that's not going to help her for turn 2. Although he manages to hang it around the outside wonderfully, and that's Brumfield, having looked to gain one position earlier at the cost of Imray, has managed to lose one to Sarah Dove, and now these two AOR cars are going to be trying to get away as quickly as possible. Although Brumfield's going to have a look back at, I believe that is still Sarah Dove. That's Evan Imray. Sarah Dove's got past Evan Imray, and Evan Imray's under pressure from Brumfield again. He just can't get away from him. And there's contact between the two of them there just a little bit. It sends the two of them round in a sort of synchronised drifting mode there. Let's have a look at that one again. As Imray and Brumfield tries to go to the inside, takes the both of them out, and they have a nice little synchronised drift as Rano Luke does a great job at avoiding the two of them, and Stephen Brumfield tries to go around the two of them out and slides right down the hill. Anyway, let's get back to real time. That's going to send Imray right back down the grid. Currently in P12, the standings will update at the end of the next lap, but that's not going to either of them any good. I can imagine that would have been 4 hours of death in the stewards, although Rano Luke, assuming he took no damage from this, has been a big winner here. No incidents so far, so at least not that I can see here. Again, Rano Luke, another driver who I said would be making their way to the front end of the field from the pit lane start. Let's see who can. Could be 3 seconds behind Sarah Dove at the minute. Those two are going to be catching up to the back of the field anyway. Speaking of, that's opposite back of the field, if I'm totally honest with you. We've managed to develop a 3-way fight again for P1. Marvin Sluman's managed to catch back up to the back of these guys. So we've got hardly half an hour remaining. He's using all the width of the road. You can see the dirt they've been kicked up. Let's have a see what TV2's got for us. TV2's not got much. Mariani appears to be the most threatening of the three, must be said. Marvin Sluman was done well to catch up. He hasn't really managed to progress very far in terms of catching these two up, but it appears to be all Mariani now keeping Sokolovsky under pressure. Yeah. Coming to, well, we are on lap 8 now, coming to lap 9 as Cone's been killed once again. They do well to not respawn, I think. They haven't fared particularly well any time any of these drivers have come through, it must be said. I do apologise if you can hear the incessant clapping going on outside. I'm not quite sure what the people feel they need to applaud, but it must be something to behold. They're really going at it. Well, it appears Mariana getting closer than ever. He is right onto the back of the rear bumper of Sokolovsky. Let's see if we can get back on the onboard. See just how big this car gets. Sokolovsky's not had an easy time of this. It must be that whoever wins this race is going to be very deserving. It may come down to who can save half a second or a second in the pit stops in the refueling thing. So we'll have to wait and see when that one comes around. He's going to have a look at the inside. He's going to dive that one, and that's going to be a big accident between the two of them. Let's have a look at that one again. That one's going to be controversial. Oh, this is going to give Marvin Sluman the victory of the race, or at least for now. Mariani looked desperate to make a move, a bit late on the brakes. I think I had to try and commit and hope he wouldn't make contact, and then that's the two of them round. It must be waiting to see what damage they've got on their cars, but Mariani for certain isn't going to have much there. And, well, he hasn't given the position back yet either. We'll have to wait and see how that one transpires. But for now we have Marvin Sluman was your leader of the race. As we cut back to live, he's lost the position to Mariani again, and that's going to see him taking the lead of the race, and Sokolovsky has lost 2 positions out of this. He's going to be fuming in there. But the question is, how much damage is Mariani carrying, and is it going to allow Sluman to get the better of him? Sluman runs wide into turn 2, and that's going to allow Sokolovsky time to close up, and well, these two guys don't be fighting too much if they want to not let Mariani get away, because I feel like if you don't keep the pressure on Mariani, he's going to be able to run away from this one, because he's looked the quicker car all this race. It's just a case of how badly is that damage going to hold him up. If he feels it's going to go too badly, he might try and come in a little bit early, and then we'll see him later on in the race, although cutting away from that just temporarily, Dominic Cure, I keep saying Dominic, it's not Dominic, it's Doman. Silly Islander, can't read names. Anyway, Doman Suha still trying to fight Evan Imre. It appears Rano Luke and Sarah Dove have managed to catch up to the next car as well. Rano Luke appears to be the faster of these two drivers. He's going to try to stay behind this one, I feel like it's wise for these to follow each other through as opposed to fight each other too badly, although I do get the impression that Luke is the faster car. He's managed to catch up to Sarah Dove after the little coming together with Imre and Broomfield earlier that Luke just managed to dodge. Dodge, yes. Words are hard, it's been a while. That's what we see this one happens, as Sarah Dove is probably going to look for this time to try and go down the inside, and that's going to be a fairly easy move for Dove, but can Luke follow her through? I believe this is Nicole Parry ahead of him. It is Nicole Parry ahead of only around Luke. He's going to want to get past these two guys as quickly as he can to avoid trying to lose some time to Sarah Dove, and he's got side by side coming to turns 3 and 4, but that's not going to be good enough unless he can hang it around the outside here, which he's not going to try and do. Blind apex is going to cause you a lot of pain. A lot of these corners are blind. You have to... It's similar in a way to the caution we were saying. There's no way you can see the apex of the turn. You just have to kind of know where it is and aim for it and hope that you got it right. A lot of these corners, especially turns 2 and 4, are exceptional for that sort of thing, and coming over the brow, coming down that hill as well. It can also be pretty blind. You have to kind of know where you're looking for. Rano Luke still trying to find a way around Mikael Parry. He might just have it into the hairpin here, although it's afforded Sarah Dove a second or so gap ahead of these two guys. Rano Luke taking all of the grass as he can. That's going to be very, very close. How brave is he on the brakes? He's looking for the inside. Parry trying to defend. Close to contact from Luke and Parry, but no contact made, and that's going to be them Rano Luke through, and those two guys are going to be trying to close to Rogolovsky, who actually he didn't have this earlier. That was Sokolovsky. I'm going to get mixed up. Anyway, well, we now have time back to the front of the field. Marvin Slew and Michael Mariani. It appears that damage hasn't affected Mariani's pace too much. These cars are quite indestructible, it must be said. We're reaching our halfway point of the race now, 21 minutes to go. We're in around 25 laps. I'm not quite sure whether our ultimate character is going to be lap count or time count. We'll have to wait and see. Sluman is... He's definitely quick, there's no doubt about that, but is there going to be enough pace in there to get him past P1 as he's eaten all the cones, as we have... I believe that is I don't believe it's Dominic Linden ahead of them, or it could be Dominic Linden ahead of these guys. Let's see where Linden is on track. So yeah, this is Dominic Linden, teammate of Michael Mariani, getting lapped by his teammate. Yeah, that's not going to be how I wanted his race to go, but these two guys are teammates. You got to question how eager Linden will be to get out of the way, and well, spotting maybe from him. He's not going to try and hold Sluman up for his teammate. He's going to get out of the way of both of them. He recognises that that's out of his control. As Sokolovsky is trying to make his way back into the pack as well after his early incident. And he's going to definitely be seeking revenge, it must be said. Further down the field, we've got Brumfield is trying to catch up to Imre as well. We'll have to wait and see how that goes. Brumfield's been a lot of time with Imre recently. He's struggling out there, it seems. Evan Imre in his black Porsche, no skin currently. Sarah Dove already up to P7 from the pit lane start as well. That's impressive driving from her. Brumfield, despite qualifying last, although Imre didn't set a time, so there's always that. Maybe he wanted to start out the way and see how it would happen. I got some tyre marks from a previous mishap as well, going cutting the S's down the hill. I assume this is Raptor Racing Team Yellow, not Team E. It's just that the overlay is cutting such things off. These are this is the closest guys we got on track. Sluman has dropped back a little bit from Michael Mariani. He doesn't quite have the right pace to get up to him. Last lap was, I wasn't there with the first two guys, but we'll have to wait and see. Sluman has the best fastest lap in the race, it must be said. So he's definitely got the pace to catch up to him. He just appears to be lacking a little bit of consistency and such to get there. Rano Lucas was actually dropped back. I didn't notice how what happened there. Rano Lucas dropped back to behind these two guys again. He was earlier, we saw getting past Parry, but evidently that's not the case. He's dropped back through either a mistake of his own. I don't believe he's pitted. So he's dropped back from a mistake of Rano Luke, but he's going to be. I do apologise for the old hiccups, but things happen. Rano Luke's going to be catching up to both these guys at a fast rate, so you can visibly see how quickly he's closing. Let's see if we can get on board with Rano Luke and see what this looks like from his perspective. He's going to try and want to get around as much as possible, and as I say that, Rano Luke jumps into the pit lane. So let's go back to this battle. He's chosen to take his refueling service now, as has Let's go back to TV camera if we can and follow these guys around. Although, having knocked Marvin Sluman's pace earlier, he's caught back up to Mariani. It'd be interesting to see which one of these two guys pits first, since we're evidently approaching the pit window with 15 minutes left in the race. 10 laps to go if you're looking on the lap counter. Well, either Mariani's had a poor lap or he's started to struggle with his car a little bit, because Sluman's gained a second over this lap. This has been a fantastic lap for this one in relation to each other. He couldn't be any closer if he tried. He's practically licking the rear bumper of Mariani. Let's once again jump back to on-board camera. Which is a very nice little Raptor-looking team livery as Sluman's a little bit hesitant into this turn 2, losing the rear of the car a little bit. You don't want to get on the grass or sand, whatever you want to call it here, because that will very quickly end your day. Had a quick look to the inside, but thought better of it to try and see if he can set something up through these two turns, try and get into the right hand at the top of the circuit. This corner's pretty blind as well, as you can see from this point of view. Not really much you can do from trying to guess where you're going, other than just see how side of these cars are along this surface. Very close into braking, but not making the same mistake as we've seen other drivers do there, with hitting into the back of the car ahead of them. 110 for the last time around at the line. Currently it's probably about a couple of tenths at the minute, but again we'll have to wait and see what happens, as again you visually see how much more speed Sluman's carrying through these turns compared to Mariani. Mariani's doing his best to hold on at the minute, it seems like. Again, looking threatening, he's going to look for the inside, he'll fake the move. Mariani doesn't fall for it, he's seen more than that in the past. A number of drivers, particularly like Ryan Connor, Michael Hardy, Evan Imre, Ryan Luke, are all jumping in the pit lane. Dominic Linden is still a lap down and he's going to get pitted. Sokolowski as well as jumps into the pit lane. I'll have to wait and see whereabouts he filters out, because he was right up there at the top end of the field earlier. Go back to make sure the camera back with left for now. Renault Luke very close to the back of Evan Imre for the second time this race. Renault Luke made his second pit stop. 8-second stop. Not the some drivers having a 6. Imre's also made his pit stop as well, so these guys are fighting for position to the end. Imre had a 2-second quicker pit stop than Luke, so I'll have to wait and see how that plays out in terms of fuel. Whether Luke's played it safe or whether Imre's played it dangerous is going to be caught out later on. Peter's Imre's stop was quicker than anyone else I've seen so far. Everyone's mainly the 8-second sort of stop range, but I'll have to wait and see. As if I know Evan, he's not going to want to give this one without a fight. He's going to try and keep Luke behind him for as long as possible, no matter what the speed difference may or may not be at the end of the day. Going defensive into, this is where he had his incident last time with Brumfield. No such misfortune with Luke, however. He's going to keep it clean and try and go for something that potentially here. Imre's going to take the inside line straight away, but I think Luke has enough speed to try and get around the outside. He's going to give it a whirl. It's going to be a great move to get around the outside of these two turns, and he's not going to be able to get it done. A little bit of a spin, and that's going to be Luke into the wall, and that could be a wheel missing. Going to try and get back on track safely as possible, and wheel still attached. Good to see, although that's going to set Luke back a little bit in terms of this race. Starting from the pit lane, a race to forget for him. But let's have a look. Current race leader is Sarah Dove, however Sarah Dove has not yet pitted. Sluman and Mariani have had their pit stop. Our only drivers not to have pitted so far is Dominic Linden, Sarah Dove, Doman Suha and Stephen Brumfield. I imagine they'll be coming in sooner rather than later. I don't think you can go more than half an hour in these tanks. As we have 10 minutes left of the race, so it's very quickly becoming now or never for Sluman trying to find a way past Mariani. These guys are shown as second and third, but that's not the case for now. This is effectively the race battle here that we've got going on. Sluman appears to drop back a little bit. Let's see. These guys are... Oh, these guys seem to be a bit of sort of ebb and flow between each other. They can't quite get one away from the other. And there we go. There's Sourdough coming to the pit lane, pictured ahead. I'll have to wait and see where she comes out. We're nowhere near these lead guys, but you never expected that at the pit lane start. How far down the field? It's got Stewart, Brumfield, and Linden in the pit lane as well. So next time round we should have, once again, battles for position on the cards. You can see how much time there's a battle with these cars. Like even just trying to get them slowed down is a task in itself. .6 of a second last time round, but you got to feel like that's going to start closing up a little bit. Mariani opting not to repair his damage, although Sluman could end up with a race win here if Mariani's move early goes to the stewards and earns him a time penalty. Sokolovsky's definitely going to be gunning for one of those. There's a 2-minute stop for Sokolovsky. He's either had a bit of a nightmare or he's chosen to repair some damage. So I believe there's now a 2-horse race. Sokolovsky's had it and Marvin Sluman almost puts it in the inside wall there. He was very close to losing that one. Going round the penultimate corner. Well, before the penultimate corner. Technically this next one is the penultimate corner. And as I say that, Sluman's hit the wall. That's going to be even dibs on who's got damage on their cars now. One nice hefty chunk each. Just what you don't like to see. 8 minutes left. 5 laps according to this. Well, it doesn't appear to have slowed Sluman down much. He's still soldiering on if anything, and let's take a bit of a look further down the grid at Stephen Brumfield trying to get past Nicole Perry. We saw Ryan Luke trying to get past Nicole Perry and Sarah Dove earlier. Dove has managed to stay ahead of him. It's actually in P3. She has come out very soon. Very far up the grid compared to what I was expecting from the pit lane start. That's going to be a great race for her. Brumfield closing the gap slowly but surely. I wonder if he can get around Parry has been overtaken a few times this race, it must be said. We'll see just how far Brumfield can get. Last time we tried to make a move here and in tears to the both of them. Let's see if we have a repeat of last time. Oh, we do have a repeat of last time again. Possibly another touch from Stephen Brumfield, and that's going to send Parry around and losing a position. That's going to send Imre into the dirt as well. Possibly causing Imre a bit of damage too. We'll have to wait and see how that happens. Let's have a look at Imre's perspective here. See if he did manage to collect some damage from... Yeah, it's very slippery out there. No, he managed to keep it out the wall. Good save from Imre in the dirt. Let's look at Stephen Brumfield's on board. See if there was contact here. I'll have to pass a little bit of judgment. Definitely had the inside line here, and I think all things considered, Harry's just come across his nose a little bit and just chops himself off. But got a little people to the side. Back to live racing. Let's go back to external camera. And who we've got going on now? Rogolovsky is next in line to try and get past Imre after Imre's little session in the dirt earlier. So good. We've also got Sluman. He's still pressuring. Sluman is still pressuring for that lead up ahead. 5 minutes left of the race though, so that's going to be an interesting one to follow through. Let's stick with this one for now. It definitely is much closer. I say it looks much closer. It's just Again, another slide from Sluman. He almost lost that one again. He's had several trips towards that inside barrier, but I just keep it out there every single time. Managing to avoid the wall this time. And again, we have, I believe that's Linden in the pit lane. I'm not sure if he's pulled in to retire or whether he's pulled in for some more damage, but it's been a race to forget for him. At least. Rano Luke appears to have had another bit of an off track as well. Let's see what happened here. Just drops it at the top of turn 2. Very easy to do, especially on this surface. That's unfortunate. Let's get back to Martin Sluman. It's definitely getting into now or never territory. He's going to get slowly more desperate to try and find a way past Mariani. You don't have to be relying on these post-race penalties, because you never know when they won't go in your favour. Overcooked that one from Sluman. He's locked his brakes up and he spins rear tyres out a little bit on the slippier surface out at the back, but that's going to cost him a lot of time. He's about 3/10 behind now. Struggling to keep this one in check. I wonder. There we see, I think that's Ronald Luke in the background having been lapped. Upsetting times with him, he's almost certainly stuck in P13. You can see a little bit of desperation coming to Sluman's driving a little bit. He's missing braking zones just a little bit and causing him to lose time in places where he should easily be gaining it, really. Where he's proven in the past that he can gain it. He's been the quickest car on track so far. He just hasn't able to find a way around Mariani. Definitely paying for snoozing at the start and losing a position there, because he hasn't been able to get that back all race. Well, got 3 laps to go. 2 minutes 58 on my timer as well, so I'll have to wait and see whether to go for time or the lap count, but we'll stick with the lap count for now, as it's what you guys have seen as well. Still back, although a little bit further back, another one of our Estonian friends, Raimo Cooley, Team Cruising Missiles. He is caught up to the back of Mayim Kodaman. We haven't seen much of him this race, but well, he might be about to get overtaken if things don't go as planned for him here. As further back, Imre and Rogolovsky had a bit of a fight for things as well. Kodaman looked to go defensive for a little bit, realised he didn't really have to, and has taken the optimal line. Not trying to waste time defending things he doesn't need to. And fantastic thing, of course, from Kodaman there. He's managed to gain a little bit of a gap to Cooley. See how quickly these guys can fight for it. As Sluman's also got back up to about 5/10 as well last time around. Further back, we had Imre trying to get around, I believe it was Rogolovsky, but he has made a mistake, it seems, and has dropped back behind Parry. Let's see if we can see what happens at Imre a little bit here. Oh, it doesn't look good, you know. It's what do you think? We've seen people dropping it time and time again. He's trying to get a little bit too trigger happy on trying to get past the guy ahead of him, and repeat what Varno Luke did. Face first in the wall. It's not going to be good for him. Jump back to present day and catch back up with, let's have a look at Rambo Cooley actually. Kodaman has managed to get past him. I'm sorry, Kodaman was still ahead of him. Kodaman never lost a position, but Cooley's looking like he wants to take it from him forcibly. 37 seconds left, or 2 to go. I'll have to wait and see where the lead is at. This has proven to be, well, from what I've seen, a tough track to overtake on. We have only really 2 places where you can really get an overtake. One at the top of the circuit, one at the bottom of the circuit. Anywhere else, you're kind of relying on the other person to make a mistake. And a white flag this time around, we've got 1 more to go. Let's follow Sluman for this last lap and see if he can find... He's got 2 more overtaking spots really to try and get something done. Dominic Linden ahead, the lap's car. This could... Potential for some controversy if this lap car gets in the way. He's done well to get out of the way in the past. Sluman's really sending it in deep. He's desperate to try and find a way around. Mariani. Let's ride on board for the rest of this and see just how close it can get. See the 2 cars ahead of him. One's a lap down. This one ahead of him is one trying to get back to a position. Now look here, he's realistically got 1 more chance to try and get around him at the hairpin at the back. All or nothing. Will he go for it or will he accept his P2? Linden doing well to get out of the way of both of these cars. It'd be a shame to have this ruined at the last lap by the lap's car. Sluman looks to have got the better run down the hill, but he can't do anything here. He's got to tuck in behind. Mariani's going to defend. Let's have a look at external camera for now. Sluman around the outside, 1 last ditch attempt, and I think that's going to be it. Mariani's going to get it. Yeah, Mariani's going to win this one. Sluman's going to have to settle for P2 as we have Linden in the background. Sarah Dove comes home in P3 eventually when we get around this last corner. For a pit lane start for her, that's been fantastic. For a podium from a pit lane. Especially given how tough this track has been. Followed by Andreas Lutus for Team Dingo. And close behind, Marianne Coleman has managed to fend off the fight from Ramo Cooley all this time as Doman Suha comes across. His teammate. And next up we have Stephen Brumfield, 10 seconds or so down the road, coming in P8. A little bit of a slide at the exit, followed by Kamil Rogalski. Next on the line, a little bit further down, we have Mikhail Pari coming to the last turn now to finish the race in P10 overall. A lot of points up for grabs here because of the Sonoma attendance, as we'll call it. As Evan Imre comes across the finish with a car that's seen better days, we'll put it that way. A few excursions into the barrier and other drivers. It's been a tough track out there, race to forget from himself in the back. Sokolovsky was leading our race at one point, but then had a bit of a tangle with Mariani, and it's been a downhill spiral from him from that point onwards. And next up we have Rano Luke and Dominic Linden, as said earlier. So let's have a look at our final race standings. Result standings, that's one. As I listed earlier, we have Mariani, Sluman and Dove as your top 3. But Lutus and Coleman and Mariani are your top 5, followed by Cooley, Suha, Brumfield, Rogalski, Pari, Imre, Sokolovsky, and if we go to the rest of them, we have Rano Luke, Linden and Prosen, who did not finish the race. And well, that's going to be all of that. Let's go back to our main results sheet. We'll leave that there for the time being. Let's see if we have anyone who wants to have an interview. Do we have anyone who wants an interview? I see Rano Lucas has tried to message me about the small conundrum we had with the intro screen earlier. Anyway, who wants to come and have a chat with me? Sarah wants to come and have a chat with me. Evening, Sarah.
Hello.
How was that one? Aside from the pit lane, I think. I didn't quite notice where you were at the start, but you made a pretty good run through the field and managed to get a podium overall, which I was quite surprised by.
Yeah, I was surprised by as well. I misjudged the amount of time from the end of quali to the start and missed the start.
Missed the grid. Oh god. Well, I was assuming a pit lane penalty or something the same as Rano Luke, but he just forgot to hit the green button. That's one way you do it anyway.
Yeah, it did, and I was kind of getting a bit worried because everyone was going around the pace lap, and the button was grayed out, so I thought I'd missed the whole thing. But then like everyone started, and then it went green.
You had a lot better luck getting through the field than Rano did at any rate. He made a trip to the wall a few times. He managed to get through both the cars and the walls unscathed, which appears to be a bit of a feat for this track compared to what I've seen with other drivers.
Yeah, it's a tricky track in most cars, but because this car is kind of tricky to drive as well, it's a bit
I don't suppose it
more
helps.
difficult.
Yeah, I don't suppose it helps that nobody's really driven this on the roadside in a long time, at least not I can remember anyway. I can't remember the last time this was on the calendar on the roadside. So it's a new thing for everyone.
The last time we drove it in the league was in season 5 of the GTE, so or 4, so like at least a year ago.
That was before my time anyway. So it's definitely a new thing for a lot of people, and some people don't come out too well. But anyway, that was a good race for P3. Hopefully we can maybe get a win next time if you remember to hit the green button.
Hopefully, yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Qualify well. I didn't do that, but I did the 2 wrong things, but it still came out well. So I'm happy. 2
wrongs do make a right.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's good having you here. We'll see you again next week. Hopefully, a bit of an improvement on. Well, there isn't really much improvement on P3. A good podium from the back, but we'll see you. Where are we next week? I've forgotten.
I have no idea.
Well, anyway, it's been thanks for coming by. We'll see you next week. And
okay, see ya.
I don't think we have anyone else in. I don't think we have anyone else in the who wants an interview. I don't think people are aware that it exists. Anyway, well, it appears that's everyone that we have for the interview, and we've had our final race results, so I think that is going to be it from me in terms of it's going to be it from me in terms of today. We're going to run a bit of an outro, and then we'll call it a day for this week. Next week we are at a track more popular than this one. We'll see a lot more drivers in the field, and will be hopefully a much better race to watch. This one wasn't bad by any stretch of imagination, but there's always room for improvement. Anyway, I will give you this thumbnail that you've been so happy for at the start of the race, and we'll call it a day. See you next week, guys.